Welcome all. In this video, we're going to talk about privilege escalation. So the same concept or the technique that I'm going to show in this video happens very recently in FIA's website. Where attackers use the same technique that we're gonna use in this video, and then they stole Max Verstappen's personal information. I'll link this web page below so you can read it. Then let's get started. So I'll explain a bit about this technique. So normally what's happening is we take username from the user. This is register form, right? This is register form. We take username, password, and some other details. Then we send those to the backend. In the backend, when registering, by default it assigns role as the user or something related. Sometimes, if imagine like we intercept this registration request and then we add role parameter to this request and then we send it to our backend, instead of assigning this default user role value, this might assign the role which our attacker sends to our backend. So this is the vulnerability today we're going to talk about. I hope you get an idea, how this thing is going to work. So I'll show this in action. So this is my demo web app which I made using Flask. I'll link the repository for this app in the description so you can practice on your own. So first I'll log in as user and then as user again. You can see like we got only dashboard and home button and then lookup button. But if we log in as admin and then again as admin, this admin role or admin got some extra privileges, which is like in this app only this fake admin panel. But like I'll copy this URL and then I log in as user. And if I'm trying to access this admin panel again, you can see our access is denied because our role is not admin. Our role is customer and customers can't access this admin panel. Okay. So we'll see how to escalate the privilege. Here is my web app and I got burp suit running. This is what I'm gonna use to intercept the web request. First, what I'm going to do is I'm gonna create an account. So I'll create as test user and then password also test user, and then I'll click register. When I click register, you can see we got our two parameters, which is username and password. What I'm going to do is I'll send this request to repeater, so I can set repeater request, and then I'll add another parameter called role and value for the role as admin. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to send this request. So when we send this request, you can see we got a response where role is incorrect. So which means our backend accepts the role parameter from the user. If we don't send this role parameter, our backend will register our user as user by default. But if we send the role with our registration request, our backend will accept that role and then try to register our user as this value, like the value we given with the role parameter. So this means the role value is incorrect, which means we can't use admin. I'm going to try another value for this role, which is super user. I'll send the request. Same thing happens again. Now I'll just try admin and then I send the request. Here you can see 302 and then it's redirecting. So I'm going to follow the redirection. Here HTTP 200 OK, which means we successfully registered. Now what I'm going to do is, so I'll turn off the proxy, then I'll log in as test user. Look, when we register, our role becomes admin and we got admin privileges here. So this thing, I won't say this is very common, but it's not rare. If you dig deep, you can find this vulnerability for sure in like many apps. So this is the concept where which that FIA attacks was happen. Okay, so that's how we escalate the privilege in web apps where they use role-based authentication. But the concept that I showed you will be same. But the way you have to do it might be different. What I mean, in our web app, what we did was we just set role and the value for that as admin, and then our server accepts it. But sometimes this might be different name. It might be user role, and this might be super user or something else. We have to brute force these two. And there's another scenario where they use role, and inside this they might use some JSON where the ID for the role, and there might be some other timestamp, and then value for the role. So if they accept this kind of request, I mean JSON with some additional detail, this technique won't work and it might be hard since we don't know the format they're gonna accept. So however, it's worth trying this technique when you're doing bug bounty or penetration testing. So that's the end of our video. So let's meet from another video. Thank you.